But just to preface this as well, Paul George. Paul George, if you have drafted him, I would be exploring trades. And the reason why I'm saying this, no, just hear me out here. Please hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I'm about to educate you and whoever the viewers may be. Are you aware that a bone bruise is actually one of the worst things that you can do to your knee? Because the possibilities of the injury, timeline, and implications is actually worse because you don't know.
Okay.
And that unknown factor is a real problem. In fact, here's my knee coming into it. My both my knees have been ACL repaired. My left knee is worse than my right knee. Do you want to know why?
Okay. Sure. Please tell.
The
Tell.
left knee, when I injured it,
Yeah.
also acquired a bone bruise,
Okay.
whereas the right knee did not. It was
Okay.
just a straight rupture.
Yeah.
And because the left knee acquired a bone bruise, I actually essentially started the process for osteoarthritis in that knee,
Okay.
right? So the cartilage is degenerating and all of that stuff. For Paul George, who's already had some lower leg injuries, is 35, etc., that bone bruise in that knee is not good.
Hmm.
And there's a reason why we don't know when he's coming back is because they don't know when he's coming back. And it will be very much a feel out. How do you feel today? Are you ready to play? Are you ready to ramp up? He might not play for the rest of the season. That is not out of the realm of possibilities. And so that's why I'm saying explore a trade because, yes, you might sell low on his overall potential. And let's not get into the fact that Paul George can be streaky and there's other things. But he's a name that you could convince someone in your league to take a risk on and stash in the injury reserve. If you don't take that risk now, he might sit there for the rest of the season, or you might get to All Star break and realize he never played or he played 5 or 10 games. I'm just flagging it as a bone bruise survivor myself.
Survivor. I love it. Look, I'm gonna heed your advice there. My knees are pretty good. I've been fortunate in that sort of sense, so I can't say I've
No
gone
bone
through.
bruises. I
I
see.
haven't gone through the sort of the injury, things that you've done with your knees in that sense. But, um, man, I think Paul George is. You can't sell him right now. You can't trade him right now. You'd
Okay.
be if you were trading Paul, who would be a legitimate. You wouldn't even trade Tyrese Halliburton for Paul George. Like you'd have to trade someone that was like a fifth round pick for someone you spent on probably a second or third round pick yourself, and it would make no sense. You just have to hope he gets back on the court, hope he strings together 10 solid games, then sell him high. And if he never puts that together for you, then I don't think you can really move him for anything that's like for like. Like if you want to trade Paul George for, I don't know, Clay Thompson, sure.
But that's not a. See, this is the
But
thing. This is where, that is probably the realm that you're looking at. I'm thinking Tyler Hero. I'm thinking Andrew Wiggins. I know that the logic says you're selling at a loss, but if he never plays or he plays infrequently, yes, he might give you. This is where you can get trapped, and we'll talk about this later. But don't let averages or careers fool you into what they'll do this season. Joel Embiid right now is a toxic asset. He will give you good stats if and when he plays, but he's not going to play the whole time. In fact, he hasn't even poised to play recently. So these are all considerations that people are making. I'm trying to tell the good viewer, the people who care about our opinion, to watch Paul George in terms of that. That's all I'm saying. As a
sell
bone
Paul
bruise
George.
survivor.
Sell Paul George.